ज्ञानतिक्रान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome back to the Sri Harinam Chintamani series every Saturday and Sunday morning. We are on the last chapter of Sri Harinam Chintamani. Especially, we have been discussing how through the path of Raganuga Bhakti, going through these 5 stages, Shravan Dasha, Varan Dasha, Smaran Dasha, Apan Dasha, and Sampati Dasha, we can attain perfection. So, verse by verse, we have been discussing, and if you remember in the last class, uh, we discussed how through the Smaran Dasha we attain the Apan Dasha. I will just so I'll just recap what we discussed in the last class so that we are updated about the discussion. So basically, we went into this Smaran Dasha, which is of 2 types in Vaidi and Raganuga. In Vaidi, the remembrance is the principal verse is Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, Vismartavya na Jatuchit. In Raganuga, it is more spontaneous and remembrance is deep and continuous. So we saw as Vaidhi sadhakas what we need to do. As Vaidhi sadhakas, we should, whatever we hear, we make notes, we contemplate on it, we speak to our friend, we recite slokas, we sing bhajans and reflect on the meanings of the bhajans. So these are the kind of sadhana, along with our regular sadhana of chanting the holy names, following the regular principles, attending the temple programs, we should do so that as we do this remembrance of Krishna in the Vaidhi sadhana stage, the purification of the subtle body happens, and with the subtle body being purified and attaining the Sthita Pragya stage, then we enter into Raganuga Bhakti. So there the remembrance is natural and spontaneous. So this quite elaborately we discussed in the last class. So when you attain the Smaran in Raganuga meditation, then you are attracted to the Madhurya and one attains the Apandasha. So now he says you'll attain the goal, Prayojan, but now he goes into the steps. First is, remembrance of the Lord by following the Vaidhi Bhakti Prat. And then finally we attain Bhava. And it's not that directly from Nishtha you attain Bhava. There are stages, Ruchi, Asakti, Krame Krame. And Krame Krame you attain. And there is those who are followers of Raganuga and Vaidhi devotional service, they do not attain different results. The Vedas and the Smriti Shastras say about it. Now, how we attain different results, that we discussed in the last class. If we stick on to the Vaidhi rules or meditating on Nyas and Mudra and worship of Rukmini and Krishna, then we end up in Dwarka. But if we follow the Raja Bhakti, Raga Marga Bhakti, follow the eternal associates in Vrindavan, in Sakya Vatsalya Madhuriras, then we will attain Golok Vrindavan. So the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti will lead to Raganuga sadhana bhakti, and then there is bhava and prema. Raganuga uttha bhava. Uttha means produced of or born out of. And then prem, like that we attain. So there is no difference in the results. And then we saw the 5 kinds of smaran. Smaran, dharan, dhyan, anusmriti and samadhi. So we went into quite detail about this. And only when we go through these 5 stages and come to the stage of samadhi, that is here. Sorry, the fonts were not installed. I had to reformat my computer. Only when we go through in the Smaran Dasha, go through Smaran, Dharan, Dhyan, Anusmriti and Samadhi, then we attain Apan Dasha. So this is also we discussed in the last class. And one gives up his material identity and he completely identifies himself on the spiritual platform. He resides in Vraja and he sees the original form of Krishna and the forest of Vraja. And he gives up his subtle material body connection and he regains his original body. Pancha Bhautika Deha. In this context, we discussed the Narad Muni pastime in the first canto, which he narrates to Vyasadeva. And we had finished up till, as far as I remember, verse 98. Souls who are one conditioned but attain perfection in devotional service, sadhana siddha, are equal to souls who were always perfect, nitya siddha. Both serve Lord Krishna day after day. So there is sadhana siddha, kripa siddha, and nitya siddha. The sadhakas who practice sadhana and attain siddhi are called as sadhana siddhas. Once they attain siddhas, siddhavastha, siddha state, then they become nitya siddhas. So that's the point Bhaktivinoda Thakur clarifies. Now, from text 99 onwards, text 99 and 100, we are now beginning today's discussion. From 99 to 100, 2 verses speak about attaining perfection by chanting the holy name. Nama Dwara Siddhi Labh. Because in the previous verse, how sadhakas attain siddhi is mentioned. So how this siddhi you can attain by Nam? What is the way by which you can take Nam and attain siddhi is being discussed. Seva bhanga aratar kabu nai hoy parama ujjwala rase satatamataya. His devotional service is never broken. Seva bhanga aratara kabunai. He always meditates on the glorious Ujjvala Ras. Parama Ujjvala Rase Satata Mataya. So, two criterias have been mentioned how to attain perfection by chanting. So, his devotional service is never broken. Now, I want devotees to just meditate on this statement and where in the verses where pure devotion is defined, is the term mentioned that the devotional service should be uninterrupted or without any break. Any verse from the Bhagavatam, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or any other scriptures which defines pure devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti also, or from the Gita also, that devotional service is never broken. Seva bhanga aratara kabu nahi. So which are the verses? I want all devotees to think about it. In the Gita, there is verses. In the Bhagavatam, there is verses. There is in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There are other scriptures also which Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu quotes. So I want to know which are the verses which speak about this. So first is Birendra Yadav Prabhuji has raised his hand. Yes, Prabhuji. I've unmuted.
Yeah. One verse from Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kirtayantam Mam Bhaste Mamananiva. That verse.
Satatam Kirtayanto Mam
Bhajate Mamananiva.
Yatantascha Dridavrata.
Yes.
Namasyante tu Mam Bhaktya Nityayukta Upasate. And previous verse to that?
That's it.
9.13?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm not able to recollect.
Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritimashita Bhajantya Ananya Manaso Gyatva Bhutadim Avyam. So I'm just sharing the screen. Yes, this is the right quotation you are giving. So here in 9.13 and 14 it is mentioned, and here if you focus on Ananya Manaso, without deviation of the mind should not be deviated at all. Seva Bhanga should not happen. And yes, the next verse also you quoted, Satatam, always. Tridavata Namasyante tu Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta, perpetually engaged. So it's not that Yukta, yoga means to link. The mind is linked always with Krishna and there is no de-link happening. Perpetual. Perpetual means forever. So here again, Seva Bhanga has been very nicely mentioned. Yes, many devotees are raising hands. I would like to hear from them. Satyavrata Chaitanya Prabhuji, which are the verses you would like to quote?
Hare Krishna, Dhanal Prabhu. Prabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, that is Savai Pumsam Parodharma Yado Bhakti Adokshaje Ahaituki Apradita Yayatma Prasidati.
Yeah, in that, which particular verse is mentioning about, that the devotional service is, and it doesn't break. Seva Bhanga nahi hota hai, where it is mentioned.
Apratita word is there.
Yes, excellent. This is the verse. What is the essence of all religion? To practice pure devotion. Ahetuki, without any hetu. Apratihata. Apratihata is there here. Apratihata means unbroken. And this is exactly the term used by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Never broken. So it's never broken. Yes, excellent quotation. So what about other devotees? One more devotee has raised his hand. Vikram Prabhuji. Vikram, where are you? Yeah. Yes, Vikram Prabhuji.
I was about to say the same verse, Sevam.
Yeah, there are other verses also you can quote that. Hmm?
I was about to say same verse, Prabhuji, but Prabhuji has already mentioned it.
Yeah, but there is also verse again in the Bhagavatam which mentions about this. So you can quote that.
I don't remember the other verse, Prabhuji.
You don't
I
remember?
was able to recall only this.
What about others? Any other? Any other quotations anyone would like to go? There are many verses in the Gita. There are many verses in the Gita which speak about devotional services unbroken. In the Bhagavatam also it is there. But Gita also there are many verses. Which are the other verses? Anyone would like to try? I want devotees to try at least. Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji, any verses you know?
I wanted to say the same verse, Prabhuji, which Prabhuji has already said.
Yeah, in the Kapil Shiksha also there is one verse.
I think in third canto there is one.
Yes, yes. Any
But
hint you have?
It says unmotivated devotional service, right? But I don't remember the verse, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. Okay, excellent. Excellent. You got it. Any other verse?
There are many, but at the moment I can't think of any.
Okay, fine. So what about the definition of pure devotional service? There is a definition given by Rupa Goswami about pure devotional service. So I would like to hear what is the definition of that pure devotional service given by Rupa Goswami.
Unmotivated apratihata nirantar bhakti. Is that the definition?
Where
Unalloyed.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu I am speaking.
No. Sorry.
Okay. Have we heard about the definition of pure devotional service in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Yes, Satyavrata Chaitan Prabhuji.
is Annavilashta Shunyam Dhyana Karmadi Anavrutam Anukulyam Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama.
Yes. So where it is mentioned that the devotion is unbroken there, in the which line of the verse, what is a particular Sanskrit term?
Krishnanushilanam, we can take it through.
Krishnanushilanam. Which exactly among the three terms, Krishna, Anu and Shilanam, which term is referring to that devotional service?
Anu means following.
Anu, yes. Anu means continuous, continuous. Yes, this is the verse I was looking. So I'm just sharing the screen. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulena krishnanu. Continuous service to Krishna. Favorable attitude. So here again, the definition of pure devotional service, it is mentioned that it should be anukul. Now there is a famous verse also which I'm quoting. Sharing the screen. Yeah, this is a famous Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirvalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. But in the next verse is more emphatic, which is the Bhagavatam verse. Ahetuki avyavahita ya bhakti purushottame salokya shashti samipya sarup ekvatam apruta Diyamanam na grananti vinamat sevanam jana se eva bhakti yogakya atyantika udarita. So in this shlokas quoted in the third canto 29th chapter, where is unbroken mentioned? Which line of the verse? Which is the term? Which line of the verse it is mentioned that it is unbroken? Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, yes.
Guruji, it is avyavahita.
Yes, it is Avaveta. All of you are studying Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I guess. Very nice. It's Avaveta. So now, if you see many of the verses in the Gita, forget the Bhagavatam or any other scriptures, Ananya Cheta Satatam. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Cheta means the consciousness, Satatam. Yoma Smarati Nityasha. Continuous remembrance of. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. The consciousness is na anya, no other object except Krishna. Ye jana paripasate, one who worship me all round like this. For them, Krishna says, Tesham, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, Ye jana paripasate, Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogakshema Vahamyam. That's, I think, how the verses 9 point, I think it is 9.22. Yeah. Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogakshemya Vahamyam. So many verses in the Gita, there are few verses in the middle 6th chapter of Gita which speak about Ananya Bhakti, and it's very clear. Na Anya, it's not broken at any time. Bhagavatam, same thing, the principle is repeated. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, same. Now my question is, do we fit in this category of Ananya Bhakti which is being spoken, which is what our goal is? Do we fit in this category? How many of you feel we don't fit in this category? Can raise their hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All. Now another 4 are remaining. Narmada Rao Mataji, Vikram. Yes, Vikram Prabhuji. You feel you fit in this category?
No, Prabhuji, I have connected the phone to TV, Prabhuji, so I have to come back to
Okay,
phone.
okay. No problem. Okay. Niranjan Prabhuji. Yes, do you feel you fit in this category? No response. Okay. Fine. You can lower your hands. So we don't fit in this category of Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti is very, very exalted. We are at now practicing some direct devotional service in the form of chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regular principles. Whenever we get time, we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam Gita. All this we are doing to attain that faith, deep faith, or what is called as proud Shraddha in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or Purna Shraddha, where our Shraddha is 100% on Krishna. And we do Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Raja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishami Masuja. Shraddha, complete pure faith, means 100% surrender. And then we don't do any other business, then continuously doing bhajan of Krishna. So this is a platform where our, you can say, jet has taken off and just going to reach the lotus foot of Krishna at any time. So this is how we need to understand. And that is why in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 3 adhikaris who are qualified to practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti: Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. The Madhyam category is qualified for this kind of a bhajan because Madhyam is always Nirantara Namaloy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says he's always absorbed in Nam Ras, taking name. And the Uttam Adhikari, he's always preaching, and he is just coming in touch with him. People are able to take the holy names. So that is the exalted quality of an Uttam Adhikari. So until then, we are all, our Shraddha is Kanishta. Our Shraddha is very, very feeble. And by regularly doing our sadhana, by regularly hearing and clearing all our doubts about the philosophy, slowly we are gaining that faith. And when we come to that proud Shraddha or Purna Shraddha, then our gateway to practice Ananya Bhakti opens. Practice Ananya Bhakti opens. So this is the most important point I had to discuss with respect to this verse. And then he meditates. First, their meditation on, the holy name is there, the form of Krishna is there. Then specifically, the Ujjvala Ras is being mentioned. Namase Paramadhana Namera Ashraya Eta Siddhipaya Jiva Shuddha Sattvahaya. He takes shelter of the holy name and considers it his great treasure. Nama Paramadhana Namera Ashraya. He takes shelter of the holy name. Nama Bina Kichu Nahi Tribhuvane. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one of his bhajans says, there is nothing to be attained in the 14 planetary systems. The post of Brahma is Tucha. That means he is getting so much Namras that there's nothing worth to attain in the 14 planet systems, he feels. Now, are we in that situation now that we feel that I need not attain anything in this 14 planet systems? No, it's not so. He is situated in spiritual goodness, Shuddha Sattva. Now, when one comes to the Shuddha Sattva platform in the 9 stages of Bhakti, when does one come to the stage of Shuddha Sattva platform? Anyone knows? Can raise their hands. Satyavrata Chaitanya Prabhuji. Yes.
No idea, Guru, sorry.
Pardon?
No, I don't have any information.
Okay. Reena Mataji has raised her hand. Yes, Mataji.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। एक्चुअली जब हम तीनों गुणों से सतो रजो एंड तमो गुणों से हम जब परे हो जाते हैं तो देन हम शुद्ध सत्व के स्टेज में आते हैं।
Yeah, but what stage? There are 9 stages in Bhakti. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. At what stage we attain that Shuddha Sattva state? That is my question.
It's Bhava.
It's one stage before Bhava, that is Asakti. At the stage of Asakti, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his commentary to the Bhagavatam mentions this. So at the stage of Nishtha, one is self-realized. Bhaktir bhavati neshtiki. Then what happens? Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadaschet cheteter anavidham stitvam sattve prasidati. Stitvam sattve prasidati. So Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his commentary to the Bhagavatam mentions that the verse Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, that refers to the stage of Nishta. He says that this 1 to 18 refers to the stage of Nishta. And the next verse, Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kamalobhadaschet. This refers to the stage of Ruchi. And Chet Eter Anavidam. Now the Chitta is not covered by the modes. The effect of the modes is very slight. It doesn't affect us at the stage of Ruchi. But at the stage of Asakti, it is completely, there is no effect. The mind flows towards the lotus feet of Krishna. Stitvam Sattve Prasidati. Sattve Prasidati. Here, Sattva is mentioned as a mode of goodness, but it is pure goodness. The Acharyas establish in goodness and becomes completely happy, Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada, you see here, the devotee is fixed at once in the mode of goodness and makes further process to rise to the state of Shuddha Sattva. In this Shuddha Sattva, he says, so somewhere between Asakti and Bhava, but Vishwanath Chakra Thakur makes it clear that Sattva Prasidati is Shuddha Sattva. So that's how he clarifies. So we should know at what stage we attain this. Now, after mentioning the stages, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 2 verses, he summarizes Sankshepa Krama Parichay, the summary of the spiritual path. Athaeva Bhaktya Unmukha Jana Sadhu Sange Nirjane Karibe Nama Kramera Abhange. First, one becomes eager to engage in devotional service. Athaeva Bhakti Unmukha Jana Sadhu Sange. And then he associates with devotees. He engages in bhakti in the association of sadhu sangha. Gradually, he comes to chant the holy name in the seclude. Nirjana Karibe Nam. He chants without stopping. What does he chant? He chants without stopping means it is, the stage of Madhyama. Madhyama stage, which is at the stage of Nishta onwards, you can say, is there is so much taste of chanting that you're constantly vibrating the holy name by doing fixed number of rounds, and always in the mind you're reciting slokas, you're remembering, or you're speaking Krishna Katha, nirantar, namaloy, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Krame krame alpakale sarva siddhi hoy, kusanga varjiya sadhu sangha followed. Gradually, in a short time, krame alpakale, he attains perfection, shunning bad association. Sarva siddhi hoy, kusanga. So, how important it is for devotees to understand this word, kusanga. Because Rupa Goswami has emphasized in text 2 and text 3 the 6 unfavorable items and the 6 favorable items in text 3. In both these verses, one thing he says common, Sangatyag, association of non-devotee, Jana Sangha. Jana Sangha is in text 2 and Sangatyag. So the reason also we commit offenses is because we associate with materialist. So the more we associate with devotees, the more we are protected by the fence of association of devotees, the more we will be able to, in that association, advance in Krishna consciousness. So there is a footnote. Let us see. What is it? A person who renounces karma, jnana, yoga, and all other non-devotional paths and has faith only in devotional service may easily attain the great treasure that is devoted worship to the holy name. Progressing through the previously described stages, that is the Pancha Dasha, one worships the holy name. In this way, one easily becomes engaged in all the various limbs of devotional service, and in a short time, one attains all spiritual desires. Expert in devotional service, one avoids non-devotees. So here, point is mentioned about Kusanga, which I was mentioning. So one is you should be expert in devotional service, Daksha, and you should be expert in avoiding Asatsanga. Stays in the association, Satsanga. Asatsanga Chadiya, Satsanga, Asatsanga Chadiya. We should give up the bad association and take the association of Satsanga and engages in devotional service. Prema, pure love for Krishna, is the final result of his spiritual activities. He is inclined to stay with people who have saintly hearts. This is his inclination. He avoids people whose hearts are not saintly. Anukulesa sankalpa, pratikulesa varjanam. Like lightning, he is attracted to the devotees and repulsed by non-devotees. Here, lightning is given as a material example. Prema is spiritual by nature. Still, spiritual prema and a material lightning flash have one feature in common. Exactly the metamorphical, analogy between prema and lightning, I'm not able to relate. I'll try to find out. It's my speculation here. Just like lightning, when there is lightning, there is illumination. So similarly, when there is illumination, there is no darkness. There is everywhere light. Similarly, he is attracted to saintly hearts who are like lights, and automatically he's repulsive towards non-saintly persons who are like darkness. So that's how we can understand. Okay. Okay. Now let us take text next section 103 to 107. So what is Bhaktivinoda Thakur doing here? If you see how he attained Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and in Sadhu Sangha he is doing Bhajan Kriya. Nirjana Karibe Naam Kramera Abhanga. So Bhajan Kriya. So this now I have a question here to the devotees. Carefully here. We discussed that right now what we are practicing is not Ananya Bhakti, because Ananya Bhakti means by definition it should be apratiyata or unbroken, right? So these stages, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning now, he's summarizing. He spoke about Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and then continuous bhajan, unbroken. So my question to you all is, where do we fit in these categories? Where are we? We are in Shraddha or Sadhu Sangha or Bhajan Kriya. Where do we fit? Because the sequence is mentioned. Where do we fit? Taken a whiteboard just to, if at all it is required. Where do we fit? Anyone would like to answer? Yes, Narmada Rao Mataji. Yes.
Prabhuji, we are still in Sadhu Sangha only because we are what do you say? We are in Bhakti. We are still in lowest KG. So we are still in Sadhu Sangha.
Yeah, you're correct. But you're also doing bhajan, na? Every day you're doing bhajan.
Yeah, bhajan we are doing, not the mind is running here and there. So bhajana we are doing, but still we are not in that stage. That bhajana kriya we are doing properly. So it is sadhu sangha, because every day we are hearing, but still we are not getting. So that is, I think that is
yes, yes, you are correct. We are still in Sadhu Sangha. In Sadhu Sangha, we are doing bhajan. But our bhajan is right now, our bhajan is right now what? It is not continuous 24 hours.
Yes, yes.
Yes, our bhajan is not continuous 24 hours. So we are, at the stage of Ado. Ado. Ado means, I'll just show you the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu verse. We can go back. Part 1. Eastern Wave. Okay, I'm going now to index. Here, part 4. Yes, I think it is 1718. Let us see. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajan Kriya. I'm not able to recollect which exactly is the verse. Remember, it is, I think, 15 or 16. Yes, I got the verse now. Yes, I'm sharing the screen. So here, please look carefully. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajan Kriya Tato Anarth Nivritya Syat Tato Nishta Ruchis Tata Atha Asaktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prem Abhidanchiti Sadhana Kanam Ayam Premnah Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramah. So Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajan Kriya Anarth Nivritti Nishta Ruchi Asakti Bhava and then Prema. So we are at the stage of Ado. In this stage of Ado, we come in association of devotees. We have some faith, and in that faith, we hear the sadhus and we practice bhajan. But here, this stage is stage of Purna Shraddha, where we completely surrender Krishna and completely try to engage 24 hours. We start practicing Ananya Bhakti. And we will attain we will in the association of these sadhus practice our bhajan, and our bhajan is what? Nirantar. Our bhajan is Nirantar, and because our bhajan is Nirantar, the anarth nivritti very swiftly happens. Just like the jet takes off, it has to just go against the gravity of the force with a little push, and then it is out in the sky effortlessly. And then Nishta, these stages, start from this Purna Shraddha. Now, because we are in the stage, we are also doing Bhajan Kriya. And because it is, not 100% Bhajan Kriya, the Anarth Nivritti is also happening very slowly. Very slowly it is happening. It's like, you have a lot of wood, you have lit fire, you want to cook, rice in a mud pot, but the mud pot is hanging on the top of the ceiling. The fire is down and the mud pot with rice and water is there hanging. Now, when will the rice cook? When will the rice cook? Anyone? When will this rice cook? The rice will cook after a long, long, long time, maybe hours and days together. Similarly, our Shraddha is very meager and we are doing a little bit bhajan. So that's why Anarth Nivritti is not happening at a fast rate. But when we have Purna Shraddha and with 100% surrender all the time, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, you give up everything else and continuously engage in bhajan, then the Anarth Nivritti is like, it's like the pot which is just below the fire. And then it will cook, purification will happen, and then we'll attain these higher stages. I hope this discussion is clear. Any clarification, any doubts anyone has about this point? That, this Shraddha Sadhu Sangha stages apply from the stage of pure Purna Shraddha or Proud Shraddha, as I mentioned. So there is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, and then you will attain Siddhi. You give up association, Kusanga. Then Sadhu Sangha will lead to Sunirjana and Dridha Bhav. Association with sadhus, staying in Nirjan, doing Nirjan Bhajan with determination. Okay, there's one question I will take up. Birandri Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, this Nirjane Bhaje, what is this stage? What is that?
Nirjana Bhajane means, you do your bhajan in a secluded place without any distractions. Without any distractions, you do your bhajan. And for us as devotees, as Vaidhi sadhakas, in our house, we sit in a secluded place where there's no distraction, no mobile, no talks going on in and around. We have our own place inside where we just do our chanting. In our temple, we sit in a place where there is no distraction, where you can attentively hear. And like this, if we chant, only at a very, very elevated stage, in the stage after Nishta, we can sit in, in any secluded place and absorb ourselves in the chanting. Otherwise, the mind will wander. So it refers to both again. Secluded place refers to for devotees. It is, a place which is free from all distractions. That is temple. Even in the temple, you'll have to find a place where there's no distraction. So you can focus all your attention on the holy name. And for that, you need quietude, solitude. So that is the kind of place we should try to hear the mantra attentively. This is what efforts as sadhakas we need to do. I hope it is clear, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I just wanted to know it comes at what stage, Ruchi Asakti? I mean,
I
what
told
stage?
you, in the sadhaka stage also, we should try to do Nirjan Bhajan in the form of, in our house, we have a particular place where we shut off everything. We lock the room, don't allow our children or our wife to enter there, because, or our temple room, completely cut off and do our bhajan. And in the temple also, a particular place you sit so that you can attentively hear. And in the elevated stages of Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, we can go to some holy places where, we can go to Ter Kadam in Vrindavan and just absorb from morning to evening chanting. It's difficult to do that. Even if you go to the holy place now and sit for 2 hours or 4 hours, difficult, very difficult, very, very difficult. So there was one of our Mayapur yatras, and I requested one devotee, let us go to, Koladweep, the Aparad Dhanda Bhangastan, because Devanand Pandit was delivered there. And those who have done aparad should chant there and get relieved of all aparads, it is mentioned. And our chanting, we can experience taste in chanting. So I requested one devotee who was very sincere in his chanting, a Grahastha, please come with me. He immediately agreed. But he informed many other devotees. So a group of 15 devotees, we all went. And we all sat together and I told, let's chant. We had all finished our morning chanting, 16 rounds, but let's sit here and 2 hours chant the holy name and not do anything else. Everyone said yes, yes, yes. And all of us sat and started chanting our rounds. After 1 hour, that is around eight rounds, it was lunchtime. Everyone went to take prasad. And after prasad, all the devotees left. Only me and that other congregation devotee sat till the late afternoon and chanted our 16 rounds there. So what to speak, 16 plus 16 rounds to chant in a secluded place is also difficult. We need a lot of taste. We need a lot of ruchi for that to do. So those who have that taste, they can sit in a secluded place in order to internalize their bhajan. But as sadhakas, what we need to do practically, I was explaining. I hope it clarifies now, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now let us see this further stages. Sadhu Sangha, Sunirjana, Dhrida Bhav. Association with saintly devotees, staying in a secluded place and determination. He is now summarizing the whole spiritual path. Now, Satyavrata Chaitanya Prabhuji has raised his hand. Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. Prabhu, can I just tell you the name of the Dweep, Prabhu? That is Koladweep, no? You referred.
Koladweep.
Okay.
That is where the Devananda Gaudiya Mutt is there.
Okay.
Devananda Gaudiya Mutt, very famous Gaudiya Mutt is there. Sadhu Sangha Sunirjana Nija Drida Bhave Eitina Bole Labi Mahima Swabhava. Association with saintly devotees. Now here saintly devotees, we have general association of devotees, but here we associate with sadhus who are expert in bhajan vigya, as it is mentioned, staying in a secluded place and being determined, drida bhave. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya drida vrata. Your drida vrata in your chanting are three things that make one glorious. This I say. So please note this. 3 things. If you want to do Nirjan Bhajan, associate with those who are expert in bhajan. Stay in a secluded place with them and chant, and be determined to chant. One who desires to attain the result brought by chanting the holy name must do these 3 things. That is, he must associate with saintly devotees, stay in a secluded place, and be determined. Okay, next verse. Omi hino shudramati vishaya vibhora sadhu sangha vivarjita sada atma chora. I am fallen, amihina, petty, shudramati, small-minded, materialistic, mati, shudramati, vishaya vibhora. Vishaya vibhora is, shudramati is petty, and vishaya vibhora is small-mindedness. I never associate with devotees, sadhu sangha vivarjita. I am a thief, atmachor. I have robbed my own self. Atmachor means, very interesting phrase here, Atmachor. I have robbed my own self. Let us see the footnote. Haridas Thakur is an eternally perfect personal associate of Lord Krishna. Still, he is humble. Humbleness is one of the ornaments brought by Prema. So this is the quality of a pure devotee. Although he has this greatest wealth of Krishna Prem, he thinks himself very fallen. He is very, he is the lowest of the lowest, and I'm always engaged in sense gratification. I don't have bereft of association of devotees. So because he has this bhava, this kind of a dainya bhava, he's always protected by Krishna, always protected in the association of Krishna. So we have to develop this dainya bhava, and when the mind hooks onto sense objects, we are bereft, we are stolen the great wealth of, remembrance of Krishna. That is the real wealth of the soul. So that's why Atma Chora has been mentioned. Ahetuki kripa kabu kariya vistar bhakti rase gati deha pratana amar. O Lord, without any reason, please be merciful to me. Ahetuki krita kabo kariya vistar. Please allow me to taste the nectar of devotional service. Bhakti rase gati deha pratnamar. This is my prayer. Again, there is a footnote here, 43. The words without any reason merciful means merciful without any motive. Ahetuki. I have not performed any pious deeds, satkarma. Therefore, I can only beg for the Lord's mercy. The mercy Lord Krishna gives is without any personal motives. Seeing that Haridas Thakur intently teaches everyone the worship of the holy name. Lord Chaitanya made Haridas Thakur the great object of his mercy. Haridas is especially qualified to taste the nectar of the holy name and to teach others how to taste it also. Accompanied by Ramanand, Sarvabhaum and others, Lord Chaitanya relished the books Lalita Madhava and Vidag Madhava in the courtyard of Haridas's house. When Rupa Goswami came there, he was staying with Haridas Thakur, and Mahaprabhu used to come to visit Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami, and there he used to hear the works of Rupa Goswami. All the exalted souls used to sit and relish Krishna Bhakti Ras. At that time, the nectar of the holy name came out from Haridas' mouth. All this is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 1. So, Haridas Thakur also spoke about the glories of the holy name there in that assembly, and that is what is Sri Harinam Chintamani. Now, please look at this footnote very carefully, very, very carefully. How we can become the object of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. What is the best way we can become the object of Lord Chaitanya's mercy by which we can attain Namras? What is the secret given here? Please think about it carefully and answer. Please read carefully. Read this particular session and let me know. I hope the question is clear. Anyone would like to try? How we can become the object of Lord Chaitanya's mercy and get the Nam Ras? How we can attain the Nam Ras? I would like other devotees to hear. Amal Bhakti Rani Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm sorry. Actually, I have to prepare breakfast and I was not paying attention.
Oh, this is inattentive hearing.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyone else? I would like to hear Narmada Rao Mataji. Okay, Vikram. Vikram, yes.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. It is by Kripa, Prabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kripa. And
How we
also
can,
Haridas.
no,
Yes,
listen to my question. How we can become the object of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, by which we can attain Namras? The answer is given here.
Yes, Prabhuji, by intently teaching the holy name to others.
Yes, yes, that is the answer. So it's not that we should become great preachers and give pravachans. Even one to one, if we sincerely, pray to the Lord in the heart, let this person take the holy name, let him take up to the chanting of the holy name. With this deep intention, we try to distribute the holy name. Mahaprabhu will be very, very pleased. And then Mahaprabhu will give his Ahetuki Kripa. So then we can get Namras. Okay. Eta boli Haridas prema chetana Shri Gauranga pade kare deha samarpana. Speaking these words, Eta boli Haridas fell unconscious. Prema chetana, overcome with ecstatic love. Prema, out of prema, his body fell before Lord Chaitanya's feet. Shri Gauranga pade kare deha samarpana. Prema gad gad prabhu tahara uthaya. Alinga diya chitta katha poletaya. Lord Chaitanya picked him up, embraced him. Prema gada gada prabhu tahara uthaya. Uthaya means he lifted him up. Alinga means he embraced him. And speaking words choked with love. Diya chitta kata. Chitta kata means, this is a very interesting phrase. Chitta kata poletaha. Related what was his own heart. So there is a saying in English, that which is not spoken from the heart is not communicated. Please note down or mark these words. That which is not spoken from the heart is not communicated. You tell someone, oh Prabhuji, you genuinely glorify him. Yeah? And you say, oh, this kind of a service, it's really very, very austere service. I genuinely, I appreciate it. You just speak from the mouth, but it's not coming from the heart. The other devotee, can sense it. He can understand it. So similarly, if we speak from the heart, genuinely from the heart, then it will touch the heart of others. Chitta kata bole ta. So, Chitta kata, what Mahaprabhu spoke, that we will see in the next class. So in the next class, that is tomorrow, I think we will be finishing, we are just summarizing, yes, we will be finishing the Sri Harinam Chintamani tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last class on Sri Harinam Chintamani, and tomorrow we'll meet and we'll summarize chapter 15 and we'll summarize chapter 1 to 15 also. Thank you very much. Sri Harinam Chintamani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a question from verse 97. It is of previous class, I think. Just I wanted to understand this. It is written that what is written? It is written that he leaves his false subtle and what do you call it? Subtle and gross body.
Cross body.
Yeah. So when that stage comes, how long he stays in this material world? That's my question.
Okay. So it's very important. This we discussed last time, that what it means that a sadhaka who attains siddhi bhava stage, it's not that he doesn't have a gross and subtle body, especially that the subtle body is not there. The subtle body and the gross body are completely purified. He is now liberated, but he stays on in that body as long as Krishna desires, because Krishna now has a purpose. He wants that his message should be preached. So that time period, because according to the time the body has to stay in this, the soul has to stay in that body, until then he stays, and as per Krishna's desire, he stays. But for jnanis also who become jivan mukta, although they become jivan mukta, still their prarabdha is not destroyed. Interesting to know. Prarabdha is not destroyed. So until the prarabdha is destroyed, they still continue to stay in that body. But for devotees, what to speak of prarabdha? Even prarabdha and aprarabdha are destroyed in kleshagni, in the stage of sadhana. And only the traces of aparadh are completely destroyed at the stage of bhava. So this is the glory of practicing pure devotional service. I hope it is clear, Prabhuji.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop here, and tomorrow we will meet for the last class on Sri Harinam Chintamani.